starts now.
Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Let's get to those First Alert Weather headlines. And if you checked in, I know Lauren was sending out a lot of updates yesterday, and Jill today. We had some storms that we were tracking around the area. Still some more of those scatter storms. And look at this, scatter storms likely this week. A more active weather pattern. The primary timing 11 in the morning until 9 o'clock, especially tomorrow. Could see a little bit of development before lunchtime, so let's watch out. And then could see a possible break in the humidity later on in the week. That's another thing we're going to be talking about. Let's go to First Alert AccuTrack radar here, and we're going to zoom in. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan's here in the office on the radar controls. We're going to go in some of these areas where we've had some storms and heavy rain. In one spot here in particular, we've been checking out into Chilton County. Storms moving over the Lay Lake area and drifting from east to west. If you're tracking this with us on the First Alert weather app, we have some heavy downpours that are now moving actually past Lay Lake around Shelby, also over towards Jemison. And you can see Thorsby being impacted there along Highway 31. Further south, this is just mostly a lot of rain that we're seeing there in areas to the south and also weakening there. We had a storm that popped up. The slow motion with this yet again is telling us that the atmosphere is still, as far as the winds aloft, rather weak. So these storms, as they go up, they collapse rather quickly. But they do have a bit of a westward component to them. This is one, as we zoom in over Perry County, that's moving towards Heiberger. So the Highway 5 corridor, you get south of Centerville and Brent. Expect this to move in that direction. Quite a bit of lightning. Look at that. You can see over showing about 14 strikes there in that last frame. Moving towards the Heiberger area, 6:58. That is the time there. If this holds together and makes it that far, just giving you the first alert. Things pretty quiet around Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. You know, we got all the rain, storms around Birmingham yesterday. We had some storms earlier out along Highway 280, a couple of pop-ups to the north. But you can kind of tell already that the coverage compared to what we saw earlier this afternoon, not quite as widespread. We've had some storms that really ramped up quickly around Lewiston here in northern Greene County, crossing the river around Benevola and then tracking over towards Pickensville. You can see moving back into west or east Mississippi around the Golden Triangle there around Columbus, dealing with some of those storms. That's around Noxubee County, Mississippi, dealing with some of that stormy weather. So that's what's happening. You can tell to the south, to the west, some of those pop-ups, things not quite as active across East Alabama. We did have some data. If you look south around the Montgomery area, storms surging northward. We've seen some kind of a northward component here with some of this further south, and there's some indications some of this may try to wrap in from the south here before we see the end to that window where we have the pop-up storms for today. You can see over the next 60 minutes, if you're watching me here around Coosa, even over towards Demopolis, all the way along that Highway 80 corridor, in fact, just watch out to the south there. Some of these storms moving north. Looks like around Tuskegee and Auburn, also quite a bit of storm activity over the next 60 minutes. But again, tomorrow, also on Wednesday and Thursday, another good chance that we're going to see some of these showers, some of these storms out there. Let's get over to the planner for this evening as we check out the outlook. I'd say probably about 9 o'clock tonight before we'll see these storms starting to wind down. And it looks like temperature-wise we'll be in the 80s. If you got out there earlier today, even as late as 10 a.m., you know, through the morning hours, it felt pretty good out there because of the clouds in most areas helping to hold the temperature down. But some areas we still managed to reach into the 90s. So the clouds, rainfall certainly having an impact on temperatures. But I think this evening it's going to feel rather pleasant for this time of the year as those temperatures fall into the 70s, especially where we got some wet weather. All right, here's what's on the way as we continue. We're just getting started here on First Alert Weather Extra, streaming on our streaming app and the First Alert Weather app. Don't forget about our YouTube channel. You can find us there as well. More on some of the climate and how that's impacting migration. We're going to talk also about real estate on the moon. Yeah, interesting story there. So stay with us as we continue in some big news from the First Alert Weather team after this.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
And being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
Getting to the bottom of health and billing issues that may be hidden in the fine print.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right.
the only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. In your community, giving you a deeper perspective with the largest team dedicated to you. Showing new stories from overnight, helping you get through your day. With First Alert weather and traffic, getting to the point, not wasting your time, these are your mornings. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When moments turn severe, how do you find clarity?
This is your First Alert from the WBRC Fox 6 weather team. We're with you as we prepare for this threat.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the First Alert wherever you are. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert weather team. Live, new, and on your side, beginning at 9 p.m. In a day filled with clutter and noise, WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else. With new updates, live and on the scene, answers for your money and your livelihood, with 6 on Your Side investigates. And your First Alert for the hours and days ahead with the WBRC First Alert weather team. On your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10. On your side.
All right, welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Some big news today. We've been talking to a good friend, a familiar face that you may recognize from his days as chief meteorologist, J.P. Dice. And J.P. is going to be helping out our weather team.
That's right, Wes. And for our viewers, you'll remember J.P. was the chief meteorologist here for more than a decade. He left the business to fly a corporate jet, and that's when now chief meteorologist Wes Wyatt took over. But J.P. and Wes actually talked about what this new role means for us here at the First Alert Weather Team.
Yeah, I'm going to be a contributing member of the team and providing social media updates and basically digital contributions to the First Alert Weather Team. So I'm not coming back in a full-time capacity. I'm still flying airplanes full-time, but many of you probably noticed even after leaving the TV station, I still put a lot of things on social media about weather. Once a meteorologist, always a meteorologist.
And JP will be back with us starting on August 11th. With his return, this means you have the largest and most experienced weather team on your side in the storms, sunshine, and everything in between. And I didn't realize this was the largest weather team in the Southeast. Makes us feel pretty special, Wes.
I'm telling you, yeah, quite the team. Mike Doverly said earlier today, he says, I think you guys are trying to put together like an offensive or defensive line, right? But
thank goodness we're not. We know I would not be good at that.
Well, I just want to say, you know, JP, and obviously we covered a lot of active weather together, Lauren, and we've been in touch. You know, once you're part of the WBRC family, you're part of this family, and we talk a lot. And it's kind of like I always say, when you leave the band, you continue to play the drums, you continue to play the instruments. And JP's still, he's shared weather information, and we've talked several times. And I'm glad we're able to, even though he's still a full-time pilot, we can bring him in this capacity to help our team. You know, with all the experience and all the severe weather that we've covered, you know, why not?
Yeah, it's super exciting. You know, I remember messaging him back when I worked down in Dothan. I'm like, do you have any jobs up there in Birmingham? So it's so cool to finally work here, and like, oh my gosh, I'll finally get to say I work with JP Dice. So we're so excited. He's been nothing but welcoming to me since I've been here. So just a team of 7. I mean,
yeah, it's really exciting. And you know, JP, he knows the area, and it's kind of cool, you know, having a pilot on the team, because you know what, we can actually get some. I know we often say ground truth, but we can get some truth from above, right? We can check out some of the environmental conditions. So that's going to be kind of cool. But we'll be talking a lot more with JP. He's going to help out a lot with the digital, and also, you know, from time to time, obviously, you know, if we get into severe weather, it's another source, you know, to turn to for his experiences and his expertise. So it's going to be nice to have JP as part of our team in that capacity.
Yeah, that will certainly be unmatched. And JP, if you're watching, we want to go ahead and give you a first alert that we're going to send you to fly into a hurricane once they finally come our way.
Yeah, can we work on that? Our own hurricane hunters?
Yes,
right here
we
at
do.
WBRC?
I'm sure we can drop some money on a helicopter or a plane. No big deal, right? So what we do want to talk about, making that segue to the tropics, we are finally seeing a little bit of activity out there. It ain't much, but hey, it's something. Fortunately, we had a rather quiet past month, but may not be the case going into August. So we have been watching this wave that has been developing off of the west coast of Africa. So this is what we call the tropical wave train this time of the year. You get these storms, these disorganized areas of showers and storms that will emerge off of the west coast of Africa. And as they move westward across the Atlantic, oftentimes they can develop into tropical systems if the environment is right for that to happen. So the National Hurricane Center, where you see this orange highlighted here, has shown that, okay, maybe over the next 5 days, we got a medium chance of this disturbance to develop tropically. Now, what could that mean? Maybe a tropical system? Yeah, not out of the question, but it's still not a surefire guarantee. There is a long way for this to go across the Atlantic, and so it's going to be battling dry air in some places, some wind shear, so it's certainly something we're going to be watching. But it's way out in the Atlantic. If we were to see anything develop, it would be over the next 5 days. As we look at our spaghetti models, trying to figure out where exactly this would go as it moves across the Atlantic basin. Right now, most of the guidance is suggesting it would stay out to sea. Now, once it gets a little closer to the Lesser Antilles, we would have to see if it's a more organized system, but it's not even a guarantee that we could see anything develop. Right now, it's not a concern for us here in the U.S., but if you have any trips planned in the Caribbean, certainly warrants watching. But the Saharan dust is what could be the fly in the ointment for this system to further develop. So when we talk about Saharan dust, not only do you have those little tropical waves moving off the west coast of Africa, but you also get that dust off the Saharan desert. And so you get this dry air. If you're a tropical system, you don't want to be running into dry air. Dry air will put a lid on any type of tropical development. So if it does indeed manage to move into some of this dry air that is forecast to move back out into the Atlantic later this week, that could put a limit on any development. But if we do end up seeing a tropical system, whether here or maybe down the road in the Gulf, the next name on the list is Danielle. So we are getting into that time of the year where you certainly see activity beginning to pick up, and we are still forecasting, or at least the National Hurricane Center is forecasting that potential for an above average season. But in the meantime, closer to home, hopefully we won't have any tropical systems to worry about yet. Definitely some rain in the forecast, though, coming up. We will talk with Chief Meteorologist Wes White about that. But in the meantime, we did want to kind of segue as we go into the next several days about that potential for some storms in the forecast. So First Alert Weather Extra will be right back.
America's most admired home remodeling brand, West Shore Home, is making shower and bath replacements fast, easy, and convenient for homeowners all across the country. And today, Kirsten and I, we're talking shower and bath replacements and why you might want to consider starting your project right now.
So Joe, if you've been in your home for a few years, it's likely that you're seeing some problems in your shower or bath. It could be mold and mildew buildup, or maybe you just want something a little more new, a little more modern. Either way, West Shore Home is here to help. Right now, we're offering limited time savings with our flash sale. Give us a call and you can get 18 months of no payments and no interest financing. And on top of that, we'll take an additional $1,500 off every shower and bath project.
It's a fantastic deal. Now, on the financing, Kirsten, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there wondering exactly how that works. Can you explain that?
Sure. So what you're going to have is 18 months of flexible financing. What that means is you can keep your money now and you won't have to make your first payment until a year and a half after your project is installed. And you won't need to worry about paying anything in interest during that time. This is the best plan for people looking to start their project right now while saving money.
Wow, so they're getting the flexible financing, and on top of that, $1,500 off per shower. That really is an incredible deal.
It definitely is. A lot of people sometimes are worried about starting a project like this because maybe they've had a bad experience with a project of their own. At West Shore Home, we understand those concerns. That's why all of our installers are employees of the company. They'll treat your house like it's their own while delivering a 5-star installation experience.
Yeah, we've been on those jobs many times. Their work really is amazing.
It definitely is. So let's take a look at a project we did recently. We were able to take this shower from this to this, all in just one day.
Love it. Folks, call West Shore Home now and take advantage of their shower and bath flash sale. Get 18 months of no payments and no interest financing, and for a limited time, get $1,500 off your shower. This offer ends Sunday, so don't wait. Call West Shore Home now.
All right, time for our First Alert 7-day forecast, and showers and storms likely over the next several days. It looks like by the end of the week we may finally get a break in this muggy weather that we've been dealing with. There's a strong cold front. Will it make it through here? That's the question. But some of the data indicating that that is a good possibility. That's why we went a little bit cooler on those overnight lows in the 60s, and notice the rain chance much lower. We're looking south of Oak Grove here in Talladega County. That's back in the direction of some of those storms that we were watching moving across Lay Lake and back in towards Thorsby and Jemison. Obviously that sky, it looks quite suspicious there in areas to the south, but this is drifting away from this particular area, moving to the west direction. You can see those pop-ups I mentioned a few moments ago. If you're watching around 6 Mile and parts of Bibb County, gave you that first alert there, seeing some pop-ups happening, and there's been kind of all around Jasper today these pop-up showers and storms. Had a little storm here that crossed around Hayden and back up towards Highway 160. That one has weakened. You can see around looks like around Blunt Springs area there. Some rainfall still left over, but this is what we're looking at. There's Childersburg. That camera was right in that area looking back in this direction. You can see all those storms that are pushing back kind of west-northwest a bit with some of that new development. Montevallo and areas back to the south here towards Bibb Mill and the Briarfield community. Just keep a watch on the First Alert weather app. You may be getting some of those lightning alerts as those storms approach. But overnight, these showers and storms dissipate once again, and we get into Tuesday tomorrow. We start off with some morning low clouds. That's going to help us out well on past sunrise. I think that's going to help improve those comfort levels at least through 9-10 o'clock. But once we start to get more sunshine in there, temperatures quickly jump back into the 80s, and we could start to see some pop-ups. I think around 89 degrees, 90 degrees, that's kind of the magic temperature tomorrow where this stuff's really going to start popping, and these scattered storms will be happening in the afternoon, going into the evening. You can see it's kind of random development. These models, when you get into this time of the year, these storms, it's often difficult to pinpoint exactly where they're going to pop up, but this does give us a good idea of the timing and the coverage, and I do expect tomorrow even more than what we're seeing here in some of the data. I think there's going to be more widespread coverage, especially by mid to late afternoon. Same situation I mentioned Wednesday and Thursday, out ahead of an approaching front, and that's that front I was telling you about that could move in this weekend. Notice another good chance Wednesday, even Thursday. I think there'll be a pretty good chance, but by Friday we could start to see some drier air taking over perhaps into this weekend. By Friday, look at that, showing most of the rain in areas to the south. We're going to watch for hopefully some consistency in the data over the next couple of days as we track that, but the possibility is there again for some cooler weather this weekend. High temperatures close to 90 degrees with overnight lows in the 60s, and that's what we're going to be watching at least for this weekend. Meteorologist Jill Gilardi standing by. Jill, I know you've been taking a closer look at some of the data even beyond the 7-day forecast. Looks like even next week we may be dealing with higher rain chances.
And you know what that could correlate to? Maybe lower temperatures. So we are finally seeing a little blue down towards Alabama where we could see those temperatures trending maybe below average. That's a possibility as we look beyond the 7-day. So we will hope for that. A nice cooler weather would be nice. Hopefully it's lower humidity that accompanies that air mass that would be moving in, but we'll take whatever we can get. Now, as we take a look beyond the 7-day in terms of what's happening in the tropics, really not seeing anything. So it looks like, we might have another tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa, but doesn't really seem to get its act together. So we'll keep a watch on this. Again, we could see active weather pattern across the southeast, more rain, and there are indications that we could be trending perhaps above average with precipitation, especially the East Coast. So we'll see how much of that moisture does move our way. So it does look potentially a little wetter and a little cooler as we go beyond the 7-day. Wes?
All right, Jill, and this weekend and into next week, watching those storm chances. Again, we may see a drop-off this weekend, but as Jill noted there, we could see a correlation between higher rain chances and some cooler temperatures into next week. And also, we're watching that system out in the tropics, out in the Atlantic. If you have a beach trip planned for this weekend, we're not really too worried about that being a factor, at least this weekend in the Gulf. But I'm sure over the next few weeks, things become a bit more active out in the Atlantic basin. But we'll have more after this. We're going to be checking on some of your weather photos as well as we continue on First Alert Weather Extra.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right. The only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the first alert. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
Being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
Live, new, and on your side, beginning at 9 p.m., WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else on your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10, on your side.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
How will the weather impact your roads? The First Alert Weather app has live traffic updates and road conditions for a safer commute. This is why we First Alert.
WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. You know, we like to cover climate on here, and this may be something you don't think about, happening even in our own neck of the woods. Weather emergencies oftentimes can spark mandatory evacuations, but now more people may soon be packing up their homes and voluntarily leaving for good. One family moved from California to Vermont after the Camp Fire back in 2018. This is the Holden family, the fire that destroyed more than 90% of their hometown and killed 85 people. That's what the Camp Fire was, in case you need a little refresher. And while the community in California continues to build back, the Holden family says they couldn't live in constant fear of another potential inferno.
We were looking for a place that we would never have to go through something like that again.
And while the concept of climate migration in the U.S. is still relatively new, it could become a growing trend if climate emergencies happen to become more frequent. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the U.S. suffered $145 billion worth of damage and close to 700 casualties from weather disasters last year alone. Fortunately, we haven't seen much in the way of weather disasters here at home recently, but we certainly did get some booming thunderstorms over the weekend. We check in now with meteorologist Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson for a look at some of those happening weather photos.
Hey, let's get going with some pictures here on Weather Extra. Had a lot of pictures sent in by our folks on our weather app.
We had a weekend, and we had storms. We had everything pretty much to look at.
And we get started here with Dwight Browning sending in this picture. This was Saturday in Fairfield, and you can see that rain and storm clouds coming. A little break in the rain right in the middle, but you can see rain on the right, rain on the left.
Yep, that was a common thing. And for me, this is what I saw yesterday. I was waiting for it to rain. Saw the radar, storms are developing. I'm waiting for it, Nothing.
Nothing happened.
Just a few sprinkles.
Look at that, man. That's a ton of rain coming down there. This is Jessica McCurry. This was over the Albertville Airport. So, for visual flight, I guess that was a no-go on that particular day. What we have here, Matt?
This is from Scott Mann. This is from Klingsman's Dome, and I believe in the Great Smoky Mountains. Isn't that a beautiful view?
It really is.
See a little bit of rain on the right-hand side, it looks like, and that's
the mountains just kind of folded there with the clouds. Now, this is something that people get confused about sometimes, sent in by William Spells.
Is that a tornado?
No, it's not.
It looks like one, doesn't it?
It sure does. It's not rotating. We'll see clouds like this dip down from time to time, and people say, oh my goodness, we got a tornado. But if we don't depict rotation on radar, that's just what a cloud will do sometimes.
Yeah, we just call it scud. You'll see these things little sort of go down beyond the cloud base, and they're not rotating. There's not enough wind shear or spin in the atmosphere in the summer months to get stuff like this. So you'll see those kind of views sometimes.
When you report on that, you're a scud stud.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what that means.
It was back from years ago.
Okay.
All right. Hey, we have beautiful rainbows too. Juan Bowden, this is from Tallahatchie First Baptist at Alpine Sunday. And we had a lot of rainbows this weekend.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Here's another one. That's a beautiful shot right there.
Sure is. Look at that house too.
I mean, it's hard to get pictures like this, especially not getting power lines. And this is a great photo right here. This is from Brent Posey out of Corner, Alabama.
Whoever lives there needs to get that picture blown up and put on their wall somewhere, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
If you sell that house, you can just show that picture there. It's like, this is wonderful.
This one's pretty hard to beat too. This is sent in by Mike Fall in a sunset at Grace Life in McCalla. So not only do you see the sunset, but you also see the sunset in the water reflecting from the sky.
Those are my favorite photos right there.
Me too. And I've got a little bit of that right here, Matt.
Yeah, now we got Sharon Gill. We get this, we loves to share photos on our app, and we really appreciate it. This is from Lay Lake Sunday evening, and if I'm not mistaken, it looks like maybe a hint of a rainbow on the right-hand side.
Sure does.
Yeah, so you got the sunset and the rainbow and some rain probably in the distance. What about this one?
Teresa Collins from Rockford, Alabama. Just some beautiful hues of orange and red in the skies there. It was just a gorgeous weekend.
Now this is a special one right here, Mickey. I found these photos. It wasn't just one, it wasn't just two, it was 5 photos. This was sent in by Holly Tucker saying, Raylan says, Mickey, rainbows makes flowers.
Okay, well, she ought to know. I believe she's an expert on flowers and flower watering right there. So Holly, thank you for sending that picture of little Raylan. How cute. And you can keep them coming. You just scroll down to the bottom, our First Alert weather app. It's actually a free download, but you scroll down to the bottom, and what do?
Well, you look for the photo right there. It says submit photos. You hit it, sends you to a link. Make sure you include your name, where it's at, and we love to show them not only on TV, but of course right here on Weather Extra. And with a lot of storms expected this week, I guarantee you we're going to see some cool things.
Yeah, but with that stormy weather, make sure you're safe, and you can even get them from inside the house if you've got a lightning storm or something like that. But hopefully we'll get some more rainbows and some more flowers.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks to our Scud Studs for showing us all those beautiful photos from over the weekend. So you may listen to Matt and Mickey and think, my goodness, when are humans finally going to leave Earth and live on the moon? This is kind of one of those shower thoughts, I think you would say. But new research shows that it's possible it can start happening sooner than you think. For a while, a big obstacle for living on the moon has been the climate up there. Daytime temperatures reach 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Hate it. And at night, it falls to a chilly negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Also hate it. But now scientists say moon caves could be the solution. Those caves have stable temperatures around 63 degrees or so, a lot more comfortable than the extreme heat and cold on the surface. And I think I would certainly agree with that. I could deal with 63 degrees as long as I had my nice little pink blanket with me. So maybe we'll all be on the moon one day, maybe Mars even a little bit sooner. In the meantime, here at home in old central Alabama, looking at that 7-day forecast, we'll continue to keep unsettled summer weather around at least through Thursday. I still think we could see a few lingering showers and storms. Wes has been mentioning that front that's going to come through, and as that front slides in, it's going to be a focal point for all this warm, humid air that we're socked in right now, hot, humid air really, and help to lift up any air around and create those thunderstorms that will bring us that higher than average coverage. High temperatures in the upper 80s, low 90s. And then as we get towards the weekend, that's when that next big thing arrives, that nice refreshing dose of a little bit of drier air. Will it last? No, certainly not. Will it feel like fall? No, certainly not. But we'll take what we can get. It is August in Alabama after all. But you can get the latest on your forecast tonight on First at 9 with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Thank you for joining us here on Weather Extra. We'll be back tomorrow night at 6:30. Have a safe and happy Monday evening.